everybody.
Perfect. All right. Cool deal. We're on. We're live. Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday. So I'm early, right? Not really. I changed my times. So that's why I'm on here. Hello. Hey. Hey, Cassidy. Hello. Can't hear me? See, can y'all hear me? I'm making sure y'all can hear me because someone's saying that I'm not coming across or y'all can't hear me. So can y'all hear me? Let's see. I think y'all can hear me over here too. Make sure it's live. Okay. Penny glass. Cool deal. All right. Yes. Cool. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to make sure y'all could hear me because someone said they couldn't hear me. So I'm like, okay, just making sure y'all can hear me. It's probably they got to pick up the volume or whatnot. So, all right. So we are good to go. Okay. So this is Friday. This is our Wednesday lives. Hey. All right. Cool. So this is our Wednesday live. So this is your opportunity to ask me whatever questions you want to ask me about. We are on Instagram. We are on TikTok. We are on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So we got all the platforms going on here. So, all right. So for those of you who are new to the lives, this is, I do this twice a week. This is your opportunity to ask me whatever questions you want to ask me about. And so if you want to ask me a question about your life, what specifically do you want to ask me? Because if you're general or vague with your question, I'm just going to skip you. I'm not even going to stop and read it because there's not enough time for me to figure out what you're asking me for, what you want to know. So if your question starts with, do you have a message for me? Or what can you tell me about? Like, that's already getting too vague or general. Like, just be specific. Am I going to get over the herpes, Ferny? Like, that's a specific question. Am I going to get over this health issue? It's too vague or general. I mean, you don't have to give me all your business, but you need to be, I need to understand what you're asking me. So just FYI with that, for those of you who don't understand the process. So if you want to ask me about a loved one in spirit, who do you want to connect to? And I will try to connect to that person and bring through any information that might help to validate that they are with you. With psychics, and let me explain this to everybody because I want to make sure I educate people. I don't just like to get on here and try to fulfill their expectations. I need to educate you on having appropriate expectations and then meeting those expectations, because I'm not here to meet expectations that are not realistic. So psychics don't know everything. They don't see everything. If you meet a psychic who pretends to know all and see all, they are full of shit. They're probably going to con you out of your money, or they're just caught up in their ego and trying to impress people. So psychics don't know everything or see everything. We sense things, and that's a big difference. So whenever I am tuning into something, I'm tuning into bits and pieces and bringing it all together to figure out what it means and to just share it with you in a way that hopefully you'll understand based on my interpretation. That's how psychic ability works. Genuine, authentic psychic ability. Mediumship, it's not like I can see them the way that I see y'all, or hear them the way that I hear someone talking to me in front of me. That is not how communication with spirits work. The way that it works with me specifically, they pop into my head and they have access to my thoughts, my emotions, my memories. My job is to pay attention and figure out what the hell they're trying to say, or what the heaven they're trying to say. And so they will trigger anything and everything to try to help me understand a message or a piece of information. So if you're expecting a spirit to come through and say, hi, my name is Sally. I am from the Bronx. I grew up there and I was 17 when they killed me. I was in a drive-by shooting. Like, it's not going to work that way. They may give me bits and pieces to help me build that information up, but it's not a conversation like what we are having right now. They're using Ferny emojis, which are thoughts, emotions, and memories. And my job is to figure out what they're trying to communicate across. If you are asking about a connection with the loved one in spirit, then it is a lot easier to come on camera and have a two-way conversation, because there are certain things I just can't communicate without understanding that you understand what I'm saying. Just because there are certain things that I don't fully understand myself because I don't have enough of a backstory. And so whatever's coming through, I have to share that and then be able to validate or confirm that that's exactly what they're trying to communicate to me, because you would know since you would have had a live with them, right? But y'all can still ask me in the comments, and I will try to connect and bring through any symbols or signs or anything that might help you to know that they're with you. But if you want to be on video or camera, and I think Estina's going to do a really good job of communicating that to y'all, you have to request to be a guest. I think on TikTok, you got a request from the little the little loopy loops. I forgot what it's called. The infinity looking symbol. I think that's what you could click, and then that'll allow you to request to be a guest. If you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, down at the bottom, there's a little plus symbol. You click that, then you can request to come on as video guest. If you're on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, I don't have the ability to go on live there just because I'm only using 2 platforms at this point, and my Instagram feed is going out to a program that sends out the feed to the other platform. So there's no way to actually get to get a feedback connection there. So if you want to be on video, you got to get over to Instagram or on TikTok, and you can find me through Ferny ESP. And on TikTok, Ferny ESP as well. It's only Ferny ESP, not Ferny ESP 0. There's a scammer going around TikTok saying that they're me, and it's Ferny ESP 0, and they have me blocked, so I know they're trying to scam people. So if y'all received any requests from those people on TikTok, that's probably not me, because, I'm Ferny ESP. That's it. Ferny ESP. Not Ferny ESP 2, Ferny ESP 7, Ferny ESP what? No, none of that drama. It's just Ferny ESP. I think that's it. If you want to know more about me, you check out my website, fernandomoron.com. Everything you need to know is on there. I got a bunch of free goodies on there for people who want to develop their psychic abilities. I actually have a free course that I spent a year putting together for people who are serious about developing. Just because most of the people that I find out there who call themselves psychics or mediums are not really psychics or mediums. They're either playing with pendulums or they're playing with dowsing rods, and they're calling it a gift. That's not a gift. Like, playing with 2 sticks is not a gift. Using your mental capacity, using your raw talent and skill that's from your brain without any tools that's the way you progress it. There's nothing wrong with using tools to help you get there or to build your sensitivity level. So when it comes to like building your abilities with like tarot cards or oracle cards or stuff like that, I totally get that. I started off using cards myself, but you don't need it to be a good psychic or a medium. And definitely don't need it to be a medium, because mediumship has more to do with the communication with spirit, not the communication through cards. Cards are not dead. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to bounce around here. I'm not going in any particular order. As usual, my statements are personal opinions, not guaranteed future events. Whatever decisions or actions y'all decide to take, y'all are 100% responsible and liable for those. You can change your future. It's never set in stone. And I'm not a licensed medical doctor, counselor, attorney, or law enforcement official. You can still ask me those kinds of questions, but for legal medical advice or treatment, you should always consult with a licensed professional. Also, on TikTok, y'all don't have to pay me, so don't be throwing y'all's money at me, because I do this for free every Wednesday and Friday. So you could just ask your question. You don't have to throw money at me, okay? Because this is a free thing. All right. So I'm not going in any particular order. I'm just going to be bouncing around here. Oh, thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate that. Destiny. I'm 34 weeks and 5 days. Whenever pregnant women refer to pregnancies as weeks, I just get lost in that, because I can't. That's too much math. So I prefer just months, but I get it. 34 weeks and 5 days pregnant. Will I carry my daughter to my due date or have her early? I think you might have her a teeny bit early. And when I mean like a teeny bit early, like 3 or 4 days early, like from the due date. So I don't think it's going to be more than a week of being early. So she might be a little early. If I'm off, then it's actually 3 or 4 days late, but I'm thinking it's early. So I'm going to say it's like 4 or 5 days early. Okay. Here's an example of a vague question that has no structure. I don't even know what they're talking about. What do you see with what I'm going through right now? Literally, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm not a mind reader. I don't know everything. I sense things and details, and I figure out what that means for you. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm gonna need y'all to be specific with your questions. And also, y'all need to ask, you need to use an actual question, like a full sentence, not, baby, go. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So y'all need to use complete sentences, please. It's funny because sometimes when I very open and honest and direct with people about how this actually works, they'll be, well, you're the psychic, you're supposed to know, I'm like, when the fuck did you learn, or who told you? And but for those of y'all that don't know, I do curse, I cuss a lot, so just FYI. But who the fuck told you that we know everything or see everything or that we understand exactly what's going on precisely? Where did you get that stupid idea at? And it's and if you, I know a psychic that does that. I'm like, why are you coming to me if you can go to a psychic who knows every single thing about everything? That doesn't make any sense, y'all. I'm not I'm not fixating that on you, Mama. I was just using yours as an example because that's how some people are. They just have that mindset. I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, do you go to a doctor's office and tell the doctor, fix me, go? Like, no, like, ma'am, what area of your body are you experiencing symptoms? Okay, let me do my test with that area. You know, you go to a detective or a police officer, solve the crime, go. Like, no, okay, well, I don't know what you're talking about. So you gotta kind of help them to understand what you're specifically wanting or needing from them. People are like, Fernie's real bitchy. Yeah, she's still early in the day, y'all. I got daylight, so now I got daylight. Fernie's bitchy. It's been a nice day together. Cynthia, will my husband and I stay together? Is it a midlife crisis? Is he going through? Yes. You already know. So yeah, I would say so. But I also feel like what's going on is I think that he's going through a period right now because he's feeling a little bit like stuck and resentful. And what I mean by that is he may not be the best at expressing his feelings or like his thoughts. And so he's been building resentment. And I feel like that's what's going on right now is that he's resentful and he kind of wants to fixate or focus on the things that maybe he should have done a better job of trying to bring to your attention so that y'all can work on that together. And so as of right now, he's just reacting. I kind of feel like he might be this way for a couple more years. So you might need to prepare yourself for a little bit of a roller coaster with him because after he's done, he might actually be okay. But it's going to be a rough 2 years. So just be prepared because I feel like it's going to take some time for him to kind of get it together. As of right now, I do think there will be a break though. Okay. But I wonder what my... Taya, wanted to see if my brother comes through. Taya, yeah. So with your brother, the first thing he showed, thank you. The first thing he's showing me, he's showing me the 23rd. So I'm not sure if that means the 23rd of a month is significant or February 3rd is connected. But that's what I would assume with the 23rd. Either that or it's an age. But I'm thinking it's the date. So it maybe just be the 23rd. But he's showing me that number. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. I don't know if you have a necklace like a chain or like two... I'm actually seeing like chains, like, you know, when you put two chains together, I'm seeing that. So either there might be a chain that is connected to him or there might be something on a chain like this that is significant. He also is showing me, it's interesting because he's showing me like an angel or something that looks like a bird, but it's an angel. So I don't know if there's a necklace that has wings, like an angel on it, or if it's just like the wings from the bird, but it's supposed to represent angel wings. But there's a reference to this as well. So he's acknowledging that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. It's funny because I feel like he's trying to be silly and he's doing this, like he's doing this. So he's like, I try to post regularly for people so that they know that I'm actually, the hell? Okay, I'm still going. So I'm like, nothing's changed on my end. Let's try it again, shall we? Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I don't know what was that. Sorry, guys. I saw that freeze and I was like, what the hell's going on here? Yeah, for an ESP, that's the thing. The thing of the thing. Okay, Ali, that's your question. Am I going to move to Seoul, South Korea on a permanent residence for marriage with K and J? I don't think you're going to move there on a permanent residence. I do think that you will go there, but you may only be there for like a couple years, and then there's another move. And so there may be another move after that, but it may only be for a couple years as far as going there. Okay. Luke Harp cracks me up. Jump over here. Let's see. Oh shoot! Well, you know what? It's because my music went off, and I'm like, why is my music? My music is gone, and I was trying to figure that out. Do you see the color of the car I will get? Yeah, it might be a version of red, but not red. It ain't red, but it's a version of red. Like when I say version of red, like it might be something that's a little more like it's like a version of red. I don't even know what to say. It's just, it doesn't feel like it's straight up. Well, because there's a silver one and then the red one, or the reddish colored one. I'm thinking it's the reddish one that you end up sticking with or end up going with. Okay, because remember I mentioned before about the vehicles that you were going to get two options, but I'm thinking it's like a reddish tinge or tone to it. Might actually be like a Mustang, because I'm seeing like a lower, like a kind of a car like that. So it reminds me of that, because I'm seeing Selena's little car too. So there might be like a sporty vibe to it. Timmy. Hi, Ferny. Do you believe my dental pain is from nerve damage, or that this will improve? It's very much real, and I wonder if they left behind stuff like debris and didn't clean out the infection site. I think that they did the best that they could. I don't feel like they made a misstep there. However, I feel like what they did might have caused something might have not sealed properly, or there wasn't a proper closure of the site, and so that may be where there's a little bit of an issue there. I would go back. If you have nerve pain after dental work, you definitely do not want to let that go on for too long, because it can definitely become a bigger issue. I'm not thinking it's because of nerve damage. I'm thinking it's because the nerve is still to some extent exposed, and I think it's reacting to temperature and to temperature and issues of that sort. So I think it's more to do with just like a weird little thing with it, but I feel like it can be resolved if you go back, because they may just have to redo the covering, okay, or filling, whatever it's called, the covering or the thing that was supposed to cover it up. And it's like when I'm chewing or when I'm doing something and something is putting pressure, and then it allows it to kind of it adjusts. I feel like the adjustment's what's causing the sensations that you're feeling. Andy Melody 85. Fernie, am I going to get my house this year? I'm not thinking you'll get it exactly this year. I'm thinking it's probably not going to be till January. So like 1 month past the year, but I would say January. You do see something in May or June that you try to go for, but it's going to feel like a pain in the ass to go through the process of it, or it may just go off the market before you even had a chance to bid on it. But I'm thinking that in January you'll end up with a piece of property. Um, Ian, will I become a successful singer? because a couple years from now, at that point, I kind of feel like that seems to do okay. But even if it doesn't reach a height or a level that you desire, why is this doing this funny business here? Even though it may reach, even though it may reach a height or a level, that's okay, but not exactly what you wanted, it may do enough to get attention. And that's the thing. Like, don't operate as if every single thing you work on or every single project you work towards, that it's the project. No, just always pretend like whatever you're doing is just practice, practice, practice. Everything you do is practice. If I have a reading to do for someone, it's practice. If I do this, it's practice. So just consider it practice, right? And then after that happens, I feel like you have an opportunity to become a part of either a team of people or a project where there are other individuals who are also musicians or singers as well. You may want to say no just because you may want to do your own thing or have your own thing going on, not necessarily be a part of a group. But I feel like it wouldn't be a bad opportunity for you either. And so it's an opportunity to be able to move into something that might do a little bit better. Like I said, I'm not seeing like, Beyonce success, but I am still seeing that you could do well and make a living off of it. Okay. But you're still refining your voice and you still have to work at it. Practice, practice, practice. I used to have a friend and she was like, I want to be a professional singer and I want to be incredible. And I'm like, okay, when's the last time you sang? She's like, it's been a couple of months. I'm like, then you ain't going to get there. Because if you can't practice your voice every single day, you don't deserve to be anyone in anything in the music industry. You have no respect for your ability, your skill, your talent, and you're not using it. You're telling God, I have this, give me what I want, but I ain't going to put the work into it. Okay, well then you don't get it. You just don't get it. And so I always tell people, you have to practice your abilities. Bayside bombshell. Cynthia, will my relationship with my son be good anytime soon? I kind of feel that, Cynthia, I kind of feel like I don't feel like he's in the right mental space to be able to have a better relationship with him. In other words, it's one thing to try to have a relationship with someone who's just a different personality. It's another thing to try to have a relationship with someone who may struggle with a mental condition or an illness or just something that is affecting their mental or cognitive function. And I kind of feel like some of what you're dealing with or some of what's going on here might be connected to that, where either he's processing or he's just dealing with things in a different way that would not make it easy to be able to have the kind of relationship you want with him. I do think that you will keep trying, and I actually think at some point you might take a break or just let it be. But in about 4 or 5 years from now, I do think that there's something changing in his life where either someone new comes into his life or he gets into, he meets someone or someone has a really positive influence on him, whether it be like a significant other coming in or just a new friendship. And it has a pretty positive effect on him. And at that point, I think that might make things a little easier for y'all to have a better relationship. I don't think it's going to be an ideal relationship still, but a better one. But it might take about 4 or 5 years before that starts to get better. Okay, let me jump over here. Melanie, does Amco love me? I don't feel that he loves you. I do feel that he feels, but I don't feel like it's to the level of love. I feel like it's still kind of in its stages where it's still developing. So I feel like that's jumping the gun. I feel like there's caring, but there isn't enough caring to want to like be considerate of other people or to consider someone else's feelings. It's more like still about me. So I still feel like he's kind of there still, but you might need to give him time. And I'm assuming Amco's a male. If it's a female, then apply that to a female. I always assume everybody's straight. Because y'all outnumber us. Let's see. Renee, will I receive a kidney transplant this year? I feel like there's a good opportunity for you to be able to do this in September, but I think that there are some additional issues that may come up with regards to your blood sugar levels, and then also there may be some numbers in your markers in your blood work that may make it a little bit harder to proceed forward with it. So you may have to work on those things before you can move forward with a procedure. What's interesting about this is at some point there might be a second option than just having a transplant. I don't know if that's this year or later next year. And I'm going to say it's possibly later next year because I keep seeing a new type of technology where it's essentially a laboratory grown kidney. And it's just the weirdest thing, but the success rate is relatively high because what they do is it's almost like it's going to sound weird. Y'all are going to hear this in the news or on TV somewhere this year at some point, because I feel like this is going to come up at some point. Well, what they do is they basically take your own genetic makeup, or they take a sampling of your existing kidney, and then they use it to produce like an artificial kidney. It's not artificial, it's actually a real kidney, but it's based on your blood type or your genetic makeup. And so it's like a custom produced like component. This year y'all may hear this in the news about like the tests that they're conducting, and some of this is out of Europe because I feel like some of these procedures are happening outside of the U.S. And then it becomes an option that is available. So, and then it's almost like 3D printing, but it's like with cells. It's just the weirdest thing. It doesn't make sense to me because I'm like, I don't even know how we would be able to do that because I've never heard of that. But it feels like it's something new that may come up, and you might qualify for something like that as well, and you will have to make a decision next year, because I feel like you have to make a decision if you want to go with waiting on a donor list for a traditional kidney, or to go this other route that has a higher success rate for with less rejection. So I kind of feel like there's this other thing. You may not be 100% on board with that, but it may be a much more viable option than holding out and waiting for a kidney to pop up or to come available to you. Okay. I do think there will be a new kidney, whatever choice you make. I do think there will be a new kidney within a couple years. I'm going to say within 2 years. I feel like there is something there that feels like it's a functional kidney, in my opinion. Liliana. Does my situation have feelings for me? No, I don't. I mean, I think that they like you. I think that they enjoy what's already been. I'm not thinking it's going to lead to anything long term. So I'm not thinking they're going to want to put more energy into it, just because it feels like they're not as serious about wanting to make something, to produce something deep from it. So I don't feel like it'll lead it to a relationship. Okay. Abdul, will I find a new job soon? Not as soon as you would want. I'm not really seeing anything until June. So I'm thinking that you won't, by the beginning of May, you might know of a lead, or you may have a lead, because I almost feel like you're going to be working with a headhunter at that point, who might actually help you to find a role that's going to work for you. But I'm thinking around June, going into July is when I think something will come up for you as a viable job option. Okay. Jeannie, does my crush have romantic feelings for me, or should I let her go? That's entirely up to you. I don't like to tell people what they should or shouldn't do because it's not my place. However, if I do think that they appreciate and they enjoy the attention, so I think they get a kick out of that, and it could turn into an attraction or having that like playful attractionness, but I don't feel like it's gonna go further than that. I'm thinking it's just gonna be a crush for you. But it's your decision. It's whatever you want to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. Sean, how can I deepen the relationship with my guides? So, depends on what you want from the relationship with your guides. Because, I mean, they're already doing you a favor by going through your entire life with you to keep you on track and to try to talk some sense into your crazy moments where you want to do something different than you signed up to do. So they're already in a relationship with you, but as far as like having more like communication with them, because I mean, I don't know how much deeper you can, I mean, they're with you every moment of every day. I mean, when you're taking a shit, they're with you. When you're having sex or playing with yourself, they're with you. When you're like secretly like, doing something behind someone's back. They're with you. Like their guide is with you every step of the way. They're with you all the time. So they know all your business. So it really just depends on like, what do you mean by deepen? If you mean like spiritual connection or having like more wisdom come through, you need to try some automatic writing, because I think that will help you. I actually think you're a low key medium, and you probably need to work on developing that, because you might be missing out on an opportunity to develop those skills. But I do think that you could build more of a communication with them as far as getting more information from them or asking them for guidance and so forth from a spiritual perspective, not just having them like one-on-one with you every day. But you need to do that through an active process, which I would suggest automatic writing. And what you do is just, put their name, hey, and then ask the question. Like, here's my question. What do you think? And if there's an answer that wants to come through, even if it feels like you're making it up, just write it down. Just write it down, because you're giving yourself permission to just go with the flow and not fight it. It's when like, I don't want to write something down that's wrong. Well, then you're never going to write anything down, because at that point you're creating a barrier and a boundary for you to be able to communicate and to get that information. So you just kind of have to like roll with it and just assume or pretend that you're doing it until it actually starts to happen. And then you'll start to see the communication get clearer and clearer and more specific. And then you'll start to surprise yourself with what they're wanting to share with you. But automatic writing would be the best way for you to do so. "26 Mini, my marriage is in shambles, help." So that's not really a question. I'm like, what do you mean by help? Like, what do you mean by help? I'm assuming you mean like, where is it going or what's going to happen so I can prepare? Because I don't have magic spells to be helping you with the marriage. That's like, no, like ain't no magic spell that can help somebody fix their, crappy bad decisions, right? Not to say that that's on you. I'm just saying, like, people always think I'm going to go to a psychic and they're going to cast a spell, or a spellcaster, and they're going to fix my marriage. I'm like, okay, good luck. God bless. If you're relying on spells to fix your marriage, then you got problems with the way you handle relationships, and you should probably not be in a relationship because you ain't willing to put the work into it. But for you, Mama, I do think that the relationship is probably going to go through a back and forth period for the next year. So like for the next 10 to 12 months, y'all may go back and forth and not really know what's going to happen. And I do think there will be, at some point, there will be like a 2-month break. And then next year, it kind of feels like something's shifting or changing, and things may actually settle down or kind of be better, actually, which is interesting, because I don't often see relationships actually coming out of craziness into like stability. But I feel like by early next year, things might actually be a little bit easier in the relationship, and things seem to be going in a better direction. Okay. Let's go here. Cassandra NGO. Hi, Ferny. Are things... I know I said that incorrectly. Please forgive me. Hi, Ferny. Are things going to work out between me and the guy I am talking to? I kind of feel like either he's just not being 100% honest or open about stuff with him, or it just doesn't feel like he's 100% letting you in. Because I almost feel like he's just... There's like a boundary there. He may not be letting you in, but I also think that you might be a little picky, which might contribute to the issue. So it can grow into more. I just think you probably need to get better with communication between the two of you and just figure out what you both want. But I ultimately think you both want two different things. And even though he may say one thing that sounds like what's the same thing you want, I don't think he wants that. I think that he's not ready. So I don't think he's ready yet. But if you're patient or if you want to work on it, feel free to wait around or to give him some time. But you first need to get clear first at what he's wanting or what he's going to do, because I don't want you to be waiting around and thinking that it's just going to resolve, like it's going to get better. No, like you need to do something about it. But as of right now, like, is this going to work out? As of right now, I'm going to say no, just because I don't feel like it's going to progress very far. Okay. Hey, Lissy, I need clarity in my relationship with Roman. He told me that he sees me as his forever person. Was he sincere? After he told me that, I found him on Bumble. Why? Because he likes attention. He's that type. He reminds me of my ex. So my ex will say something like that, and they believe they mean it, but they also want attention, and they're not ready to just be alone or just to have to be with one person. So I feel like he's still not there yet. You might have to just be patient with him and let him evolve into wanting to be more committed or wanting to be more one-on-one, because I don't think he's there yet. He could get there, but he's the kind of person that I feel like, for again, using my ex as an example, when we first met, he was like, yeah, I'm a loyal person and I'm always committed and blah blah blah. Okay, great, sounds wonderful. But when it came time to actually exemplify that in his behavior and in our life together, he wasn't able to do that, and so he couldn't keep his he couldn't get Peter in his pants. So he just did whatever he did, and I continue to buy into the idea. Like, I'm spinning all over the place now. I'm like, oh, I'm all excited about every time I talk about my ex. It brings up all of the passion of the lesson. I think that he needs time because he's not there yet. So he needs to mature a little bit more when it comes to relationship. But he could if you wanted to. But you just have to wait. But it's going to feel like a lot of work. So just be careful and be patient. Let's bring somebody on, shall we? Let's see, do we have anybody on TikTok who wants to come on video? No one's requested on TikTok, so I guess nobody wants to come on video on TikTok. There ain't no line, there ain't no people here. And so for y'all, if y'all are on Instagram, and because I got like a lot of people on Instagram to pick from, ain't nobody on TikTok. So if y'all on TikTok, y'all might have a real good shot of actually getting me on camera. Here we go. Hello. Hi. Can you hear me? I'm good. How are you doing? Oh, yes. I'm still here. Your thing is freezing. Are you on your Wi-Fi? Try turning off your Wi-Fi if you're on Wi-Fi. If you're not on Wi-Fi, then get on Wi-Fi. But I'm thinking it's just the Wi-Fi. Sometimes the Wi-Fi's people's Wi-Fi slows things down, and it's not coming through. All right. I'm gonna try you again in a few moments if I remember. So I'm gonna come back in a few moments and give you another shot, okay? All right, let's try somebody else. Let's try somebody else. Hello. Hi, can you see me?
Hi, I can hear you.
How you
Yes,
doing, sweetheart?
I'm okay.
All right, what do you want to ask me about?
Do you have a message from my daughter?
For your daughter or from your daughter?
From my
From your daughter,
daughter.
got it. From your daughter, yeah. Thank you. The first thing I'm seeing, I keep seeing the number 4. Do you know if the fourth of a month is significant, or or April is connected?
Mm, no.
Okay, that's okay. The fourth of a month. So either the fourth of any month or the month of April being significant, because I saw that 4. So that's the first thing I want to say. Another thing that I'm seeing is I'm also seeing a heart that's almost shaped like a piece of jewelry. Do you know if there's a heart-shaped jewelry or a piece of metal that's heart-shaped that's connected to her? Perfect. Oh, you have it. Perfect. So she knows about
Yes.
the locket that you have on. So she's acknowledging that. She also keeps thank you. She says, I'm proud of you, Mom. So she says, I'm proud of you. So she's wanting you to know that she's proud of you. You're allowed to grieve, even if the grief process is longer than it should be, because sometimes you're still trying to be there for other people, and you really need to acknowledge that it's not easy for you. And it's okay if you want to give yourself more time and if others don't understand what this experience has been for you. So it's okay. So your daughter is giving you permission to continue to grieve and love her if you need to. She also, thank you. She is drawing on my Skin But MC musical notes. Do you know if there's a musical tattoo connected to her in some way?
I don't think
It's
so.
okay. There is either a piece of art that is like a sketch or a drawing that's got musical notes connected to her, or there's a tattoo that may be connected to her that's got musical notes or little, because I'm seeing those little musical notes. So there's a reference there. So she's acknowledging that. She also makes, I'm seeing it again. Do you have her music?
Um, I mean, I have everything of hers, but I
So,
mean, she loved Harry Styles, unless that's what she's trying to tell me.
well, the reason why I'm asking is because I keep feeling like I'm listening to her music, even though it's not her listening to it. Do you know if there's music that you listen to that's hers that you just listen to it because you want to feel like she's in the other room or like she's listening to music?
Okay, so her memorial, all of her songs at the memorial were her favorite songs.
Okay, this feels like more. Um, this is another element to that. Do you know if there's all? It's almost like I can hear a song playing of hers, but it's not from the memorial. It may be one of the songs of the memorial, but it's not at the memorial. This is like I'm hearing it from like a piece of equipment or like on a machine in another room. Is there something that's connected to her that either has her music playing or that triggers a musical song when in your home that's connected to her? Or did you hear someone playing her music in another room and nobody was there? There's
No, not that I can
okay,
remember.
there's something to it because she and I'm still sticking. I'm going to still stick to what I said originally, which was there's a piece of art or something visually that has music connected to her. So she's either got a picture that she made that's got music connections for her, or there is something that is like a piece of art that has musical notes or a tattoo that's got music on it that is connected to her because I'm seeing something like that. So I'll leave that with you because you might have to think about it or actually ask people. But I'm also hearing her music. So either someone listens to her songs or music and as if, for example, here's an example. So when I came first to New Mexico and I came first to Santa Fe, I missed it so much here. And this was before I moved here, that when I went back to Houston and I was living in the city again, I would put on the sounds of the desert here because we had the crickets and all that song. I'd fall asleep listening to that because it helped me to feel like I was here. So it's almost like listening to her music, but you're not directly listening to it. It's almost like having her music playing in another room or somewhere else, but it's almost like hearing as if she were listening to music in another room, but it's not you actually playing and listening to it yourself. But it's almost like setting it up to play like as if she were around. If that makes any sense.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
have to think
And
about
okay,
that.
I know it sounds confusing, but that's how I'm getting it. So I know you're talking about the memorial. That's great, but I feel like she's acknowledging an added layer to this as well, where there's something that either has a song that she liked or it goes off and plays like a phone. Like if a phone starts playing her music and it's not been triggered and no one's messed with it, but it's something like this that I kind of want to describe. So she's making reference to that. She also keeps acknowledging the number 12. Do you also know the 12th of a month or December is also connected?
No, not.
Does she cause her own passing?
She didn't know.
Okay, there's something else here because I'm seeing something. I need to acknowledge another person then. Okay, take my glasses off. Come and get serious here. All right, so let me come back to what I was saying here. I'm pretty sure I got your daughter on the line, but I need to acknowledge this other energy because there's too many pieces that you're not connecting with. And I don't dismiss that. I automatically assume it means something and I'm just not catching it correctly. So there is a female in spirit. She is connecting herself to music or the idea of listening to her music even after her passing. She is acknowledging also the 12th being connected to her. There also may be a situation with this female where she either caused her own passing or may have even taken her own life. Do you know of a female in spirit that connects to this?
No, no. My daughter was my daughter was not the only one that died that day.
As well.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
What I'm describing, all of these details you'll look it up and find out if that is connected to the other female. Because if that's the other female talking over with your daughter's just telling us, "Hey, mom, I'm here with this person, and this is
Okay.
all the details and pieces," and she's just saying who she's with, but she's acknowledging these pieces. But I don't want to dismiss it as if it's not correct, because it's too specific for me to just dismiss it. So it has to apply to someone, and I'm just completely missing the details, the connection. But I'm pretty sure your daughter's here because she connected herself with the hard necklace that you have on. But there's this other female that's got all these pieces to it as well. Was someone else driving, or was someone else the direct person that kind of triggered this whole thing to happen?
Yes.
Okay. Remember what I said, like causing your own passing? That may be the female then, because if this other female was in the driver's seat, or she was the one that kind of let this all to kind of go, that may be the way she's trying to acknowledge some of these details. So there's a reference to that. Do you have a picture of your daughter at a pier or on a bridge taking a picture?
I have lots of pictures of her, so probably.
Okay, so this is like being on a bridge or like next to a pier. And it's one of those pictures where, like, if someone goes on a trip or a vacation, or they go on like a class trip, and this is like almost like if someone went to the Golden Gate Bridge and there's the bridge in the background. But she's acknowledging a picture of her with a bridge, or next to a bridge, or on a bridge. And there's a picture of her like this. And it's almost like you can even see her at a distance, like at an angle going upwards. But there's a picture of her like this. There might even be other people with her in the picture as well, because I feel like there are other people, possibly females, in the picture with her. But she's acknowledging this image of her. So to FYI, this might have been taken by somebody else's phone. So if you look online at stuff that's connected to her, you might see this exact picture that I'm talking about, because there's a reference to it as well. She also is doing this as well. Do you have a bracelet that's connected to her, or custom jewelry?
Yes.
Okay, she's just confirming that. So there's more to all of this. So you got your daughter here, but this other female's part of the equation. And so she's with this other female, and they're both together, and they're in spirit. And so she's just trying to acknowledge herself and then who she's with. Look at those pieces. This is why I'm glad that they do this, and they give me information that sometimes people aren't able to understand in the moment, because if you go and look this up, the pieces will start to make sense. You'll be like, oh my God, I did not know that existed. And so that is just further confirmation, because people like to say that we mediums read people's minds. I ain't trying to read people's minds. But if it's something you have to even find out, that's going to just blow you away. But you need to go look it up after the fact, and look at this other girl's social media stuff, and see if you can validate that, because there's this other female that's with her.
Okay.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. I'm wishing you lots of love. And again, look it up, and hopefully you'll be able to validate some of that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, darling. Bye-bye. All right. Going to the next person. Let me go to TikTok. See if I can get somebody else. Oh, look, there's 3 people on TikTok. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
I don't know why the camera's not on.
Yeah, it does it with a lot of people. I don't understand. I haven't figured that out. I'm waiting. I'm hoping Christina will figure it out and tell me what that's about. But that's okay. No worries.
Okay.
No worries. I'm here. What do you want to ask me about, love?
I'm just wondering if my daughter's around.
Mm-hmm. So I'm seeing the number 7. Do you know the 7th of a month or July is connected?
No, not that I can think of. I mean, she loved the 4th of July. That was like her favorite holiday, but
Oh, I don't think that's it. I think it's either the 7th of a month or the month of July is being significant, because I'm kind of seeing that. Do you know if she had started taking either like a new supplement or a new medication in July?
oh, she might have started an antidepressant in July.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay, because I almost feel like she's saying, like, this all started the moment that was the beginning of everything changing. Do you know what I'm saying? Because she's almost acknowledging like things were starting to change, or things were starting to be different after July. And so if there was a new medication or something she started to take at that time, that might have been leading up to her passing. Do you understand that?
She might have even relapsed in July.
Yeah.
Maybe that's when that started.
Okay, because it's almost like I feel like I've gone past the point of no return. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you also know if after July you started to notice even bigger personality changes with her?
Yes.
Okay. Do you also, thank you. Was there an incident after that? Was there an incident where what I'm seeing is, you know how like there was like a thing that I saw on TikTok or on somewhere where there was a girl, she was depressed or she was just struggling and she was sitting out in the rain, just sitting on like the ground. Do you know there was something like that happened after July where she just was kind of becoming a little more like just kind of getting lost in her own head, and then she was even doing weird things like that where she would just kind of sit in the rain or anything like that?
Not that I can recall, but she might have tried to hide some of that from me.
Okay. I want to say, do you know if there's a Jason or a Jacob connection?
Her biological father is Jason.
Okay.
And her stepdad that raised her is Jacob.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. She might have had some episodes that you're not 100% aware of, or might have had some conversations with people and might have expressed to them what was really starting to happen. And it would have been like when it was raining, and it might include one of those two individuals. So you might need to ask because they might remember or be able to shed some light on what she's talking about. Because again, she keeps showing me this video clip of her being in the rain and her being just like a little bit out of it and kind of feeling stoic in her mind. She is pointing the finger at herself, so she is blaming herself for her own passing. Did she cause her own passing?
Yes, she did.
Okay. She also says she was just taking whatever she could get into her mouth. Did she take substances the day that she passed?
Yeah, she actually had 92 days clean and sober, and that day she relapsed.
Yeah, it wasn't just a relapse. This was like the relapse of all relapses. It's like if someone says you can't have something, and then it's like when someone goes on a diet and they say you can't have anything sweet or sugar. And for her, it was like, okay, I'm doing good. And then it was like that week leading up to that day was just like one thing after another. And she was just like, I can't do this. And so it was like trying to just get everything enough in to just stop it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
She told me she felt like she was going through withdrawals still, like she was just sick and trying to make it stop.
Do you know if I don't feel so much intention as I feel like just accidental or not being careful enough? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. I don't feel like she set out to kill herself that day. I feel like she just was trying to feel better and lighter or just be in a better headspace. And she overdid it. Like she completely overdid it. And then she did more of it when she thought she hadn't done enough. And so it was just like, whoa. And so her system just couldn't cope because she's making me feel that. She's apologizing to you because she says, I don't want you to think, she says, you're not a bad mom. She says, yeah, we can go through some stuff. Yeah, we struggle. She's like, but you're not a bad mom and I love you. And I appreciate what you tried to help me with. She also, thank you. She just said happy birthday. Are we within 30 days of her birthday?
Her birthday was in January.
Okay. Was it the fair end of January?
Yeah, and her little sister's birthday was January 30th.
Okay, she might just be acknowledging the birthdays because we're kind of within 30 days of it. So she's probably just acknowledging the birthdays. She also says that birds are a sign from her, but specifically hummingbirds. So look out for hummingbirds because you might have experiences with hummingbirds.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Okay. She is drawing on my skin, but I'm not sure if this is you. Do you know of a friend or someone that's like a best friend of hers got a tattoo for her?
I got her picture tattooed on my forearm in November.
Oh, then you're the one. Okay. She said best friend. Are you the best? Would y'all consider each other best friends or friends?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then you're the best friend. You're the best friend then. Because she said my best friend got a tattoo. So she's referring to you as her best friend then, because if you're the tattoo, then she's calling you her best friend. So she's just referring to you in this way. This is not the first time y'all had a life together because she says you used to be sisters in a past life. So, yeah. So she says that in that lifetime, it was her job to take care of you because you suffered from a disability and she had to look out for you. And so in this lifetime, it was your turn to do the same thing for her. You weren't supposed to save her. You were just supposed to love her. The struggle was hers. The situation and learning to overcome that, that was hers, not yours, not anybody else's.
Yeah, her brother is also an addict and struggling very hard.
That's a different story. He needs to be careful because I can see him getting in trouble legally and then he will get clean, but not in the way he would have wanted to get clean.
Right.
So he's got to be careful, especially in about a year and 7 months. So he's got to be careful with his activities at that point.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. All right, my dear. Well, you take care of yourself, darling.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, going over here. Hello.
Hi, Ferny.
Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?
How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. What do you want to ask me about?
I would like to see if you could connect with my grandpa.
Mm-hmm. Is this your mom's dad?
No.
Okay. Is your mom's dad also passed?
I think so, yes.
Okay. And she also had another man that was kind of acting like a father or was a bit of a father for her as well, besides her own dad?
I don't know.
Okay, because there's a man that's coming forward first. I'm thinking it's her dad, but he also acknowledges two fathers, or there being two fathers connected to her. Another male that was in her life that was like a father to her or helped to raise her. Or she's acknowledging another father, but he's acknowledging that. He wants to go first, so I'm gonna let him go first because I need to acknowledge him. I feel like he needs to apologize either because he feels he didn't do enough or he could have done more to be there and be more involved, especially when she was younger, because there might have been a lot of time when she was younger where he had to work or he had to do stuff and could not be around. And she might have missed some of those moments. He does want to acknowledge in that he feels that he does want to say he loves her. So he wants to acknowledge that he loves her or that he cares about her no matter what. He may not have been the most vocal person in life, but he wants to vocalize that now. So he needs to say it so that she can hear him. He also says he's keeping up with her, so to let her know. And also, do you know if he struggled with speaking correctly or he couldn't speak properly?
I just don't know anything about him, actually.
Okay. Just remember that I said that. You can check with your mom, and hopefully she'll affirm that for you. But he's just acknowledging because I felt like my mouth was getting trouble, and I was like, what's going on? And so I was feeling this weird sensations in my mouth. So that could indicate that either someone had difficulty communicating or that there was a stroke or something that was triggering some issues for them. But just FYI with that. So that's the other grandfather. He needed to make sure that he gave her that message because there was a period when she was young where he wasn't able to be around or wasn't as involved. The other grandfather, so interesting. Do you have a picture of him sitting down in a chair?
No.
Okay. The other grandfather, because he showed me his legs. Do you know if his legs would get swollen or they would swell up?
No. He had an issue with one of them, yeah.
He had an issue with his legs?
Yeah.
With
yeah.
his legs? Okay. There's a picture. He's sitting in a chair, sitting in a couch or chair, and his leg was acting up that day, or he was having issues with it, and he might have it either there's something wrapped around it, or there's something right next to his leg that he's got attached to the leg. But this is a picture of him because he's showing me this image of him in this way. Do you also know if he had blood sugar issues?
Health-wise, I'm not really sure much.
Okay. Here's the reason why, because he keeps showing me this scene where I feel like I'm having like either my blood is being taken out and processed or something's being given to me that feels like it's been processed. Do you know if he had to go through something like that towards the end where they had to process something in his blood because something wasn't what it was supposed to be or the numbers weren't right?
It could have happened. I just wasn't there when he passed. So.
That's okay. He's just acknowledging some issues with his blood and then the blood sugar and then having to be given some almost like a transfusion because it reminds me of that. So there's a reference to that. Okay. He also shows me the 5. Do you know if the 5th of a month or May is connected?
No.
Okay. So the 5th of a month is connected or the month of May is significant. Do you know his birthday or his death date?
The date I do.
Okay, just making sure that you understand that. The 5th of a month. So either there's a birthday, death date, anniversary date, but the 5. So the 5th of a month or the month of May.
Okay.
He also keeps acknowledging. Do you know there's a reference to the name Luciano or it's like Lucero Luciano? It's like a Lu sounding name. Do you know there's a connection to that name?
Maybe, but
What do you mean maybe?
it just sounds, unfortunately, I don't know much about his side of the family. I just feel like if he had any type of message, because I didn't get to say bye. But that side of the family on his side is huge.
Okay.
So there could possibly be, yeah.
Okay. Do you know if there are 4 males connected to him, like brothers? That's okay. No worries. Here's what I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying to you, you're going to go back over the recording and listen to what I'm saying and write it down and ask your family because they might be able to corroborate some of that information to be able to tell you more about the details. There's a Luciano or Lucero or Luciano sounding name that they're making reference to that is connected somehow. The 5 is connected somehow, either the birthday, death date, anniversary date, month of May, 5th of a month, one of those dates. He also keeps acknowledging his blood having to be cycled because something was wrong or something wasn't going the way it was supposed to. He's also talking about the issue with the legs and there being fluid or something that was affecting the nerves and was causing a little bit of a disruption with the circulation. And it was starting to become an issue for him. He also keeps acknowledging not being properly diagnosed or there being a lack of follow-up with him as far as him getting the medical care that he needed. Did he not go to the doctor right away or did he just not go at all?
He didn't.
Okay. There's something about his blood because he makes me feel, thank you. Did y'all have to call an ambulance or take him to the hospital?
They took him to the hospital.
Okay. Do you know if they thought that it was actually one issue and it turned out to be a completely different issue altogether, which actually ended up leading to his passing?
It's just that his death was very, like, there's really no clue on why or how.
Yeah. So the way that I feel is that they went in or he went to the hospital thinking it was one issue, and then it ended up being something completely different, and they didn't realize it right away, or they just didn't realize it at all because they didn't do a full test or they didn't follow through with some of the symptoms that he was having because he may have thought it was something else, and also he may not have always communicated everything as clearly to people. So he's just acknowledging that there were some issues with that. Ultimately, I think that it was a cardiac event, meaning that his heart just failed. But I feel like there was something leading to that was connected to his blood, because he makes me feel like his blood needed to be circulated or there was something wrong going on in his blood that was leading to all this happening. But it feels like there wasn't a full diagnosis or they did not realize that this was the issue for him.
Okay.
Okay. Follow it up with your family. Like I said, write everything that I said down and then ask them because they'll be able to confirm some of those details. He's around you, sweetheart, and also he's the one that's dropping the coins around. So sometimes when you find these coins in random places, or like if you find a penny, that's him.
All right. Thank you. Just one last question. I know before, because this is my second time, I just love connecting with you. You said last time that I would get into, do you see me getting any type of marriage in the future?
Yeah, I actually think you'll get into something. I want to say there's a relationship in about 3 years that leads to a marriage within the same year. So you'll be getting married in that same year.
Oh,
it's fast.
Very fast. All right, it was a pleasure like always. Thank you for any.
You're welcome, sweetheart. All right, check with your family and follow up and post what you find out.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Mama. All right. Let me go it over here. All right, let's see. Let me go here. Hello.
Oh my goodness.
Hi. How you doing, sweetheart?
Oh my God, I'm cooking. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. Don't burn it.
Oh my
burn
God.
it.
No, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. What do you want to ask me about?
I'm having a hard time communicating my husband. Throughout the years, we've been together for too long, and throughout the years, he's shutting down. I think he's afraid to hurt me, or there's something in me tells me that he's hiding. I don't know what it is, and I really need to.
The first thing I think is I feel like your husband, I know you think the reason why he's being the way he is because he's hiding something or he's keeping secrets. That might be true to some extent, but I also actually think that there's more going on beneath the surface that is medical. And I feel like something's actually changing with him medically, and he might be suffering from a type of condition that he should probably follow up with a doctor with, because I feel like there's a medical aspect to this as well. He needs to get his thyroid checked because I feel like his thyroid is having some issues. And I feel like it's making him more anxious than he should normally be. And so I think that he probably needs to follow up with a medical doctor. Another thing also is I do feel like I don't feel like he knows who he is anymore.
Okay.
And I feel like he's questioning who he is and what he wants in his life. And I feel like he feels a little stuck and like he's not sure what to do next. I think that I think right now he needs more of a friend than he needs a wife.
Okay.
Because I feel like some of this is a little bit out of like the idea of like, oh, he must be having somebody. So like, I feel like there's a little more going on than what you would think. So there's a little more to that. But I feel like you need to kind of be more of a friend to him than a wife, and then see if he'll open up a little bit more. I do think he'll open up because I feel like he might share more of what he's struggling with, because I feel like a lot of it's internal, more of what he's struggling with. I think he'll open up in around like the summertime, because I think around that time something else might happen and a buddy of his might there might be some issues or something may come up, and that may cause him to open up a little more to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. I do think you can work through the issues, by the way.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, going through here. Let's go over here. Let's go to Ticker Talkers. Ticker Talkers. Don't worry, y'all. I haven't forgotten about y'all. I'm making my rounds. Making my rounds. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Absolutely. What would you like to ask me about?
I would like to connect with my granddad.
Question. Do you know if there's, thank you, what I'm seeing is like carved wood. Do you know if there's either a piece of carved wood that is connected to your grandfather, or if he ever made things out of wood, like carved pieces?
He may have in his past. He didn't recently, like, because I'm young too, so I don't think he did, because he was not in good health.
Yeah.
But if he did have like a garage, and I remember there being a lot of wood tools in there.
Okay.
So possibly.
Okay, so I would look into it, because there might be there. Thank you. Was he also in the military?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel like he's got stories. I feel like your grandfather, you only know so much about him, and I feel like there is a lot of more things about him that people either don't realize or just people didn't even know about him. And I feel like if you did some digging and looked up, like even if going through stuff of his, or letters or documents, etc., it would kind of clue you in into like a bunch of other things he was doing or he had been involved with, which are just really interesting. I feel like with the military stuff, do you know if he ever alerted that he may have done like special ops or done like additional things besides what a traditional military person would do?
Yeah, I mean, he told me that he wouldn't share them with me because he was traditional but not like judgmental. Where I was a girl and I was innocent, so he didn't want to share his stories. But he told me that if he could only tell me what he saw and alluded to like aliens.
Yeah,
and stuff.
so that is correct. So that is correct. Your grandfather left clues about this behind, and there might even be like old either notes or sketches, because I feel like he tried to keep a record of what he experienced. I don't feel like he was making up what he talked about, and I feel like what he experienced was correct, and he tried to actually like keep a note of some of this so that y'all may be able to find it. I keep seeing a box. Now, what's interesting is the first thing that I was seeing, which is why I was thinking about this, I kept seeing a wooden box that felt like it had some sort of like inscription, or it was carved in some way. But I'm also seeing a metal box that reminds me of like an old toolbox that may also have stuff in it as well. So he might have kept things in multiple areas, but those are two things to look out for, because I feel like if those still exist to some extent, they might reveal some of what he's trying to share.
Okay.
He did come in a dream. Did you have a dream about him?
I don't think I have recently.
But you have, okay, but you have had a dream about him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, plenty.
Okay, so he's just acknowledging. So keeps acknowledging. Weird. Are there a bunch of weird lenses or telescopes or glasses that are connected to your grandpa?
I'm a photographer, and so.
Oh, you're a photographer. Okay. So he's showing, he reminds, like, what I'm seeing reminds me of like whenever I'm looking at a telescope or looking through and you see the lenses. Do you know if there's, there's a couple of things with this. Either there's an old camera that he might have had that if you can get a hold of, you should use it. Or he's acknowledging something about bringing you something that's got connection to the lenses. Did he ever gift you or buy you lenses or a camera?
No, he hasn't.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm reading into it too much, but I was looking for a Nikon lens cap, and then it showed up on my desk one day, just randomly, and I asked all my coworkers, where did this come from? Where did this come from? I have no idea where it came from.
He brought you a camera. This is what he said, that he brought you the camera. So this is probably what he was trying to tell me then. So he brought you the camera because he kept talking about giving you a camera. So I'm like, okay, what are you talking about? And then I'm seeing the lenses like kind of, and I saw it stacked up. So I was like, what is this? So that may be where he's going with it then. He may be trying to acknowledge that he's the one that brought you that camera since it came out of nowhere. So he's just acknowledging that camera and that being a significant connection to him.
Yeah.
He also says, I'm proud of you. He is proud of you, so he wants you to know that. He also says, don't worry about the state of the world. Things will be changing fairly quickly. So that's an interesting statement for him to make. And so that's interesting. That's intriguing me as well, because I'm like, okay, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Dark horse. Dark horse. It's just a dark horse. I'll leave it at that. Okay. He also showed me a star. Do y'all have a star medal connected to your grandpa?
A star medal.
Mm-hmm. It's a medal in the shape of a star, or it's a piece of metal with stars on it.
Not that I know of.
Okay. It almost reminds me of like a badge, like with the sheriff's badge or a police officer's badge. It reminds me of that. So this is like a piece of metal that is shaped like a star, or that has a similar shape to it as. Yeah, it has. It's either that or it's the only other thing I can think of would be like a Jewish star. I'm thinking it's just a piece of metal star that's like that. So there's a metal star that he's making reference to, where he's acknowledging. Did you visit a site that was connected to one of his military experiences and honored him there?
Yeah, I did.
He knows about it. Yeah.
Oh.
He knows what you did. So he's acknowledging that. He also says he's tried to show up in your pictures once.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It would have been a picture because you were testing out you were testing out the angles, and it would have been something really random that's like a blob in the picture and it was like just testing out an angle, and then this blob is in the middle of like this picture. And it's just like, you may have thought maybe when you were messing around with stuff, playing around with stuff. So you go back to some of your earlier pictures with the newest camera, you might see this.
Okay.
Okay. He's fine, sweetheart. He's with you.
Thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate
Oh,
it.
you're welcome, darling. All right, my dear. Look for those boxes because I want to know what he had to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I followed you, so I'll comment on one of your posts and let you
Yes,
know.
please do. Please do.
Awesome.
All
Thank
right,
you
sweetheart.
so much.
You're welcome, darling.
Have a great night.
Bye-bye. All right, let's see. Going back over here. Hello.
Hi, Ferny. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing, sweetheart?
Good. I
Good.
just wanted to see if you could connect with my father that has passed.
Mm-hmm. I'm smelling smoke. Was your dad a smoker?
No?
Okay, so I've got a smoker first that I need to acknowledge, and then I can get him out of the way. So there's a male coming forward. He was a smoker. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually had lung cancer or died of lung cancer, because I want to tie that into him as well. He also keeps acknowledging the number 21, so the 21st of a month may be significant, or February 1st is connected. He also keeps acknowledging a name 3 times, so either he shares his name with 2 other people, or there's 3 versions of the name in the family. Do you know who this is?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my grandfather. I wasn't alive when he was
No worries.
passed, though.
Your grandpa's around. He's trying to let us know that he's also in spirit and he's with your dad. So he's probably just trying to give us the details. Now, your dad, he's taking me to my abdomen and my lower stomach area. Do you know if there was anything affecting him in that area of his body where there was almost a feeling of like a tightness, or like I'm just not able? It's almost like a weird like it's, you know how like you know how sometimes when you take a deep breath and there's just like a pain there, and just like, I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a medical issue with your dad?
I don't think so. I don't know of any. That's not how he passed.
Okay, let me figure out what he's.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go back to your grandpa then, because I want to make sure I've made the cut. Do you know if your grandpa also do you know if you have to have a bag, one of those bags where they can't go to the bathroom, or they have to have those bags inserted?
My grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Not sure.
Okay.
I don't think they really knew how he had passed, because they thought it was either heart attack or aneurysm, because it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Because he's like making this pain for me in my lower abdomen. It's just like there's something that's twisting or knotting up.
Mm-hmm.
No, that can't be it. That's not your grandpa. That's not your grandpa. Was there any physical effect on your father's midsection or lower abdomen?
Mm-mm. No, his stomach and everything is normal.
Don't tell me too much, because he has to tell me. Is there a David or a DA male name connected to your dad or to you?
David. I don't think so. I don't really know any Davids. He might. Oh, well, yeah. Actually, his friend is David. His close.
Okay. His friend is still alive, though, right?
Yes.
Do you know if his friend has cancer?
I don't think so. For that.
Or if he's having issues in his lower abdomen or in his digestive system?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. Don't scare the friend, because you don't want to tell them, hey,
yeah,
you got cancer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell the friend to go get checked out. If they're having issues in their stomach or in their abdomen, they need to go get this checked out like ASAP. just
Okay.
because there may be something going on here that your dad is trying to give me details of, and he's more concerned with his friend and what's going on right now than him just trying to clarify himself. But he's acknowledging the David and this lower abdomen issue, and it's almost like this weird thing of like it starts in one area and it just becomes a bigger issue than it needs to be. So I would just say recommend to the friend, don't tell them it's cancer or anything like that. Just tell them, get your ass over and get your check, because and you can just make it up. Like I had a dream and my dad came through and he said that your stomach hurt and that you should go to the doctor. Has your stomach been hurting? And if he said, then take it, you like send his ass there. Okay, to make it up, they make it up. Okay, with that. Do you know if there was any effect on your dad or in this area of his body?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
he started to have pain.
Okay, because he's showing me this. He also, thank you. Do you know if there was? Do you know if he had been? I feel like I'm in the middle of two things, and then I'm feeling this like pressure. Was there a level? Were there levels or stairs where he passed or where this happened? Because he's showing me this.
Yeah, so he was out of town, but it was like an apartment.
Okay.
So there's a staircase.
Okay. Do you know if he had fallen or he had hurt himself that day?
I'm not sure.
Okay, because I feel like I'm trying to stand up and I can't, and I fall back down. So he's showing me this visual and then I'm falling back down. So there's a feeling of this, but I don't feel like this is happening within me. I almost feel like I'm trying to get my bearings because I feel disoriented, or like I don't know what's going on, and I don't know what's going on. And so he's showing me this. Do you know if there were two people around there when this happened?
No, he was alone because the door was deadbolted.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. Do you know if the neighbors had reached out or had mentioned something to like the property management or the what is it, the apartment complex people?
No, it was my sister that had gone over there, knocked, and then finally we had to call the police because he wasn't answering and we knew something was wrong.
Okay, so there's two people. I wouldn't be surprised if two people had gone before y'all or before your sister, because he's talking about two people being there, or two people haven't been there that same day. So either two other people went to go say hi or to visit with him, or there were two people who like were living around him who thought something was weird or something was up, and may have even called like, you know, someone about the locks or whatnot. But he's talking about two people that were around there because he's making reference to this. Did he take medication that day, or a lot of medication?
I think so.
Okay. Were y'all thinking this was intentional?
No.
Okay.
It was a heart attack.
Okay. I feel like this is all just like an accident. He might have been having some really weird pains on his side because he's making me feel pains here, but it also makes me feel like he's taking something because he thought it was going to make him feel better, and may have actually made it worse, or may have caused him to feel worse because he's acknowledging some weird thing and thinking that. So it's almost like it's masking something, but it's also actually making it worse. And it's like, I'm not getting this resolved, or I'm not getting this taken care of. But he keeps acknowledging that earlier he may have, because it makes me feel like he was trying to get up and he fell and he couldn't get his bearings and he felt a little bit disoriented, because he keeps acknowledging that. And it may have started when he was walking on the stairs or near the stairs, because he's acknowledging that would have been, this is where those two people would have been, where they may have even saw. I almost feel like he had been outside, or he was near the stairs. Two people saw him, thought something was wrong or something didn't look right. He went inside and then thought that he was going to take something that was going to make him feel better. Did not, made it worse, masked whatever was going on, and then he passed. But that's the way I want to describe the whole thing, because he's making me feel like he had felt something or experienced something near the staircase first, and that was the trigger or the cause. Not the cause, but it led up to what was going on once he got inside.
Okay. I was
Okay.
going to ask you if
Mhm.
he had acknowledged anything about a baby.
We're saying 2 babies. Are there 2 babies
No,
that have been
so
born since his passing?
no, he was really excited to be a grandfather, and my sister actually just gave birth recently, so I
So
didn't.
that's the first. So that's 1. There's another one on the way.
I don't know with
Yeah, I'm
who.
telling you, there's another one on the way. Give it
Okay.
about 7 months because someone might be pregnant.
Okay.
Because he says 2 babies coming in. So
Okay.
one's already been born. There's a second one on the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right, Mama.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sweetheart.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye. All right. Going over here. Let's see. But let me try her again. Let's see. I said I'd come back and try her again. No? 5, 4. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Hey, all right, you're back.
Good, and you? I know my internet was pretty bad.
I figured. No worries, no worries. What do you want to ask me about?
Ferny, I wanted to ask you about my grandpa who passed away in July last year.
Yeah. With your grandfather, question, even though you just mentioned July, was there also another date of significance in July? Oh, there you are.
Significance in July.
Yeah, so there's another
I'm
date.
not sure.
So he passed in July. There might be another date right around the timing that he passed, like a birthday, anniversary, or another death day, because he's acknowledging that there's another date of significance.
I think. Mm-hmm.
Say that again.
I think it might have been a birthday.
Okay, so he's just acknowledging that. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. Do you have a cap or a hat that belonged to your grandpa?
My sister does.
Okay, he's acknowledging having the cap or the hat. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He also keeps acknowledging, it's funny because he's showing me his teeth. Was he having a bunch of trouble with his teeth, or was he having issues? Because he's like showing me his teeth now. Okay, because he's acknowledging that. Perfect. He's just smiling for me, so you know that these are fine, or he's fine. So he's acknowledging that as well. Butterflies are a sign from him, so look out for the butterflies because that's going to be tied specifically to him. So he's acknowledging that. The alarms going off or the fire alarms going off is him as well because he says he triggers those. So they may go off on their own. That's him to let you know that he's around you as well. He also is acknowledging, thank you. He's also showing me was he like a ride or die person? Like if you needed something or something was wrong, you could run to him because he keeps like making me feel as if a lot of people did not like, it's almost like people realizing after he passed how many people really cared about him or were like impacted by him and more people showing up or trying to honor him than what was expected. Do you understand that?
Yeah, he had told my grandma that he felt that I guess she would be okay if he passed away first because he felt like more people cared about him, I guess. But I think I don't know. Yeah,
that's okay. No, that's okay. He's just acknowledging. Because did y'all actually have to do more than one day, or did y'all have to do extra time for people to come and visit to pay respects?
We did multiple things for him.
Okay, got it. He's just acknowledging. He also keeps acknowledging. Frank. Do you know there's a Frankie or Franco or Frank sounding name connected?
No, not that I know of. I can ask my grandma.
When he was younger, do y'all know if he played music or he played with a group?
I'm not sure.
So what he's showing me, which makes me think this, is my grandfather, he and his brothers, every time they would get together, they would play music together. One of them would be on the recorder, one of them would be playing like the flute, and then one of them would do the guitar. So he showed me something like that. Do you know if he did something like this with other people or with his brothers or family members?
I'm not sure, but I can ask my grandma. Yeah.
All right, because that's okay, because he's showing me this. So either there's a picture of this or he actually did this and you may just have to ask her. He also keeps acknowledging, thank you. He's got a baby with him. Do you know of a baby that was miscarried, lost, or terminated?
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
Right.
So he's acknowledging the baby. It's gonna try to come back in. So the baby that was miscarried might come back in or try a few times because they're like, I'm gonna be born. So they're just acknowledging that or making reference to that as well. I actually, right when we got on the call, I was gonna tell you to be careful just because I did see baby energy around later this year or like closer to August. And what I would say to you is if you're not planning or you're not trying, just be careful because something might be going on with your reproductive system at that time that you got to look into. But I would see baby energy around you. So just FYI with that.
We're actually
He
currently doing IVF right now. We're
Oh,
gonna
you're doing
be
IVF? Okay.
yeah.
So I'm going to say you're probably going to score because I see baby energy around August.
Okay.
Okay. Is this one of three? Because were y'all trying to do it 3 separate times and this is like one of 3?
Well, no, we just started. We're supposed to transfer next month.
Okay. What I'm thinking is y'all may end up doing it 3 separate times or y'all may have to do it 3 separate times for each pregnancy because you may have more than one pregnancy, but you might have to do it more than once.
Okay.
Okay. He's happy and excited for you. So he's letting you know that a baby's coming in for you.
Gotcha. Do you feel like though it's not gonna happen like sooner than August? Like we might have to.
It can. I'm just not. When I ask myself when I saw baby energy around you, I mean, I could be off on my timing and it could be way sooner than August, but I keep seeing baby energy around August. So either y'all are. When I see baby energy, it's because either people just found out they're pregnant, they're celebrating their baby shower, or they're having their baby. I don't think it's you having your baby because it's too soon for that. So it either is you finding out you're pregnant or you having your baby shower in August.
Okay. Okay.
All right,
Okay.
sweetheart. Well, you take
Awesome.
care of yourself.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
darling.
Have a good one.
All right, let me jump over here real quick. I'm going to see if I can get a couple more questions in before I check out. Oh, they have to press the camera button. Ferny! She screams. To make them use video, they have to press the camera button and allow it. Where's the camera button? Because I don't even know. Press the infinity symbol on the button. Okay. Trying to find questions. Mez338, do I need to worry about a colleague causing problems for me at work? I don't think so. I actually think it might be okay. I actually think it might be okay. I do think they might get themselves into problems or into issues, but I kind of feel like it might just be like it might be because people can be messy, right? It almost is almost like they are being the way they are, but then they get themselves in trouble for something else, and then they're like, so I don't think they're going to be a problem for you. So I'm not thinking so. Okay, let's go over here because I want to not forget y'all. Suli Boker. I hope I said Boker or Boker. Will my daughter ever regret or apologize on what she has done with me? I don't feel that she will because I kind of feel like she's just unaware. Like she's just one of those people where they're not always self-aware. And she may not even feel as if she did anything wrong. So I'm going to say no, I don't think that you will get that closure. So you might need to be aware. You may need to make peace with the situation and just make the best of it than to expect her to resolve it because I don't feel like she's going to. Okay. And if you try to call her out on it, I only feel like she's just going to push you away or just make you seem like you're crazy. So that's why I'm like, it's like trying to force somebody to like accept responsibility or just to acknowledge their own stuff. Like, at some point it's just like, it's not worth the effort because that just will work you up even more. lose. Will my son succeed in his soccer career? I do think he will have success in his soccer career. It may not be exactly what he thought was going to occur, just because he might lose the heart for it. I mean, in other words, he might just go through his own emotional or internal struggle and may make a decision to just not push further, but he still will be in soccer. So he will still do have a career in soccer or in the industry, but it just may not be exactly the way he's going to want to do it. And he may actually make the decision to not go through or follow through with it. Okay. All right, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will be back on Friday for our next live. So I will see y'all then. Okay.